Alright, hello guys, it's the Nightwing Way of Life Esports coming at you guys with another League of Legends video, here to talk about the LCS Spring Split 2020 Playoff Round 2, Cloud9 versus 100 Thieves. Both these teams have had to go through various ups and downs. Well, Cloud9 has had to go through more ups than 100 Thieves, but nevertheless, both these rosters have had their interesting time in the LCS this split so far. So, looking at 100 Thieves, I mean, most people are not going to predict 100 Thieves. I mean, unless you're a 100 Thieves fan, then you're going to predict 100 Thieves. But I think that coming into this actual best of 5, if 100 Thieves even upsets Cloud9, that is actually a pretty big upset, because Cloud9, ending the regular season, has finished 17-1. 100 Thieves, I think, finished, what, 10-8? Yeah, they finished 10-8, and, you know, it's looked pretty rough for them at various points during the split, while Cloud9 has looked pretty dominant overall. Some of the games were, I guess you can say, questionable, but, I mean, most of them were pretty much stomps for quite the majority of their games. The only team to even beat them once was TSM, and fun fact, when Cloud9 was undefeated in 2017, 7-0, who gave them their first best of 3 loss? You guessed it, TSM. But coming into this year, actually, 100 Thieves missed playoffs both times last year, and they wanted to obviously take a new direction. They brought in Ryoma, they brought back in Meteor, Someday, and Cody-san, and Stunt had been behind Aframu during 2019, and he finally got brought up to the main roster. They switched out Prawley with Ziggs, and I think it started to all come together when they announced that Papa Smithy was going to be their GM. Now, I'm not really too sure how much impact he in general has on 100 Thieves, but I think that Someday has been the standout player in the league, actually, and if it wasn't for Cloud9 being so dominant, I think that Someday would be most people's ideal MVP of the spring split right now. Now, going into most of what 100 Thieves has strengths, their strengths come from bot and top. I think Ryoma is severely outclassed by Niski, just even looking at basic things that they do. But Ryoma is getting a little bit better. You can see his improvement, so I will give him a little bit of leeway into that. He was playing at Oceania, and most of Oceanic teams' contracts are probably a Snickers bar and $5. So, you know, he's learning how to be in a better region, which is fine. You gotta give the guy some time, right? So 100 Thieves, if you get Someday on a carry, then you're going to be winning a lot of more games. If Someday is on a tank, you are not going to be winning. I think the most crucial games last year where Prawley would put Someday on a tank didn't make any sense when he is your strongest player, and since he's gotten them so far with his mechanical prowess, how he pushes lane, how he trades effectively, his 1v1s are really good. Then putting him on a tank doesn't really offer any of that. That just offers you a loss if you do that. Now, 100 Thieves doesn't really play with comfort. They can pretty much play a decent amount of things, but I think their strongest things come from aggressive lanes and putting Ryoma on a safe control mage where he doesn't die. Now, looking at Cloud9 coming into this split, Cloud9 had to deal with a lot of criticism. So, I even have it on record that I said this roster was going to be really good. Now, I did put them in 3rd place because you do have to kind of factor in coming into the split. Most people had TL first, and then TSM objectively, with on paper coming into the split, TSM did have the better players. So, putting them at 3rd was actually still crazy in a lot of people's eyes because they were like, Cloud9 without Sneaky is going to fail. They're going to be in 7th place. Well, they did anything but that, and they actually went 17-1 in the spring split. Most people thought that Sven was a bad ADC, and that he was going to end them like he did on TSM. To be fair, Sven's always been better than Sneaky. It's just that on TSM, he didn't really get a chance to show that. Now, you might not believe me, but that's your own personal opinion, and I know that I'm right, and then this is also why Sven is here instead of Sneaky now. Now, to be fair, coming into the split, Cloud9 has pretty much fast-forwarded their playstyle from last year, so their playstyle really revolved around being aggressive. Like you saw Zazel on playmaking supports, you saw Niski also roaming around the map with Svenskeren, and they were accelerating their gameplay, and you could see it grow, up to the point where they couldn't really play a certain style that particularly out really well if the players on their roster couldn't perform well. What I'm going to say to add on to that is you can make up a draft, But if your players aren't good enough to execute on it, it doesn't matter because it's not going to really work. You have to have players strong enough to execute these drafts. Most of these drafts that people really complain about, they aren't really that bad. If your players should be good enough to execute it. That's pretty much what it boils down to. I don't really understand what is this blaming coaches for things that the players themselves should be able to actually do. Now, coming from what Cloud9 has been able to do, they've team fought really well, they've did objectives really well, they've laned incredibly well, they've actually been able to get Barons effectively, they've gotten Rift Heralds effectively. It's pretty much 100 Thieves. I'm not saying they haven't did any of that, but 100 Thieves plays a little too slow. And coming from how Cloud9 want to play, I don't really see a world in which 100 Thieves pretty much wins more than one game, or if any at all. I think that Cloud9 completely outclasses 100 Thieves in quite the number of their positions. And I mean, it's a decent toss-up between the top side of the match, because I think Licorice and Blabber are equal to Someday and Meteos, and it's a toss-up in that respective aspect. But looking at Cloud9, they definitely want to thrive on these playmaking, roaming champions. 100 Thieves likes the safe, scaling laners. So that's going to be a clash of styles in the series. But let's go with the matchups down the line. So in the top lane, Someday versus Licorice. I mean, both of the two top laners in the league. People have debated on which one was actually better since Licorice debuted, obviously, into the league the same year as Someday did. And it's really crazy how a Korean top laner and a North American top laner are the actual best top laners in the league. Well, along with Broken Blade. So it's been a debate even around 2018 summer about who's better, Licorice or Someday. I think the roles have flipped. So by me saying the roles have flipped, Licorice was that carry top laner that got resources at one. Someday played low econ, and then he was able to win. Flip that now, Licorice is the weak side top laner. Someday has been getting a little bit of resources, and then he's been able to do what Licorice did back when both of them were considered MVPs with Doublelift. Now, looking at it right now, I think it's a toss-up. I think that's a complete even matchup between both of them. Both of them know how to play weak side, tanks, and carries. So it depends on if Blabber or Meteos can visit their lanes respectively, then one of them will get ahead, and that will decide the overall team fight macro that Cloud9 and 100 Thieves like to play around. Now, it depends. Now, this goes without saying. Who team fights better? Because I think that will actually do it really well for both teams. They both do everything correct. I mean, it's really hard to really judge on who's better when both of them do everything you need in a top laner, especially right now with how weak the top lane position is. So that where it's going to bring it to my next point is the junglers. Who's going to tip the favor in their top laner's favor? Is it going to be Meteos or is it going to be Blabber? I don't know personally, because Meteos and Blabber don't really respectively gank for them. I mean, let's be honest here. No one really ganks for top lane too much. I mean, unless it's TSM and maybe Dignitas, you're not really ganking for top lane too effectively. And I mean, I've seen Immortals with Solaz and Xmithie gank effectively, but it's Immortals, so it's like, whatever. This is a complete even matchup across the board between top side and top side for Cloud9 and 100 Thieves. I think it's just completely even. I think that if just a little bit of pressure between both the junglers will tip the tide in a certain game. Now, the mid lane matchup, you have Ryoma versus Niski. I mean, good luck to Ryoma getting even ahead at one point, because he's looked, I mean, man, this guy was getting so fisted by Bjergsen and Niski and Jensen this whole split. I mean, good God, we're going to have to see 3 games of Niski destroying this guy. Good luck to you, Ryoma, but Cloud9's edge comes with Niski, who is also a MVP candidate for the split. Then you have the bot lane. You have Sven and Vulcan versus Cody Sun and Stunt. Now, Cody Sun has been playing pretty well this split, and I want to give it to him. Stunt has did various things well, but I do think that Cloud9's bot lane has the edge. I think that when you're looking at a roaming support, Vulcan even roams a little bit more better than Stunt does. I think the bot lane is going to be a massive difference for both squads, because if the bot lane can even get ahead with Blabber, that's going to be a better thing for Cloud9, because they like to put resources in mid and bot, and we know that Niski is a favorable roamer amongst the 2 mid laners that are going to be fighting this matchup. And Ryoma really doesn't roam that much. He kind of just stays in mid and farms. So I think the edge goes to Cloud9 for the bot side. And I mean, hey, they are definitely going to be more stronger on the day, and I think this is a pretty easy series. I could see 100 Thieves getting a random lucky game 1 win, and then Cloud9 just completely sweep them. I'm going to say C9 wins 3-1. It is a best of 5, so I do want to kind of give it a little bit of respect there for 100 Thieves to even win a match. I'll give you that, but I think Cloud9 has this. This is going to be a pretty easy best of series in general. And if 100 Thieves don't even win a game, that even goes to show you how strong Cloud9 really are. And if Cloud9 win, actually, then 100 Thieves gets to get knocked down all the way towards TSM. So that's something that they definitely do not want. So, yes, I think Cloud9 has this, and I can't wait to see them actually even win the split. So, yeah, see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe, most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing, Way of Life Esports, signing out. See you guys later. Goodbye.
Hi there, guys! Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more stuff.
Yeah, thank you.